Kyle Shanahan said something really interesting the last few yesterday. He was asked, like, what's it like going into a draft knowing you need so many starters? He was like, well, it's a lot different than the last few drafts because in 2022, 2023, we really felt like we didn't need any starters and we were just looking for depth. And really the only starters that could fit into our team was the kicker. So, I mean, how do you interpret that statement from it sounds kind of strange.
That right there
Looking for
should have.
backups.
So here's one thing that it could mean is we only had third round picks. If we're going to give Kyle the benefit of the doubt, maybe he wasn't looking for starters because they only had late round picks. If we're really being polite. If I was Jed York, I would have lost my mind hearing that. I'd have been like, what are you talking about? Like, that would have made me blow a gasket. But I think that it just shows how lackadaisical that this regime has been. They are like, entitlement is the only word that comes to mind when I think of this regime. Jed has his rich dad that owns the team and deserves to be owner. Kyle had his Super Bowl winning father be coach, and he's a golden boy, and he deserves to be coach of the Niners because his last name's Shanahan. Like, it just, that kills me hearing that. Like, our offensive line is a mess. We could have definitely looked for starters. Our interior defensive line is a mess. We could have definitely looked for starters. Our safeties prior to Mustafa suck. We could have looked for starters.
Well, like Cam Latu in round 3, you drafted him knowing he's not a starter. Like you're just trying to fill that Luke Farrell, Charlie Warner blocking tight end role, and you spent a third round pick on that. That's why his statement has the ring of like you really were looking for backups. Was there ever starter upside with Cam Latu, or you're like, I don't care, I just want to have the best backup tight end because we're drafting kind of low this year and our team is so great that none of these rookies will ever really make a dent in our roster in the future?
I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how. Like, if you like, it's oblivious.
Like when they drafted Danny Gray in round 3, like what was the vision there? Was he supposed to be a starter for them one day?
I thought, wasn't Danny the idea behind Danny Gray that he was going to be Trey Lance's deep threat because he could air it out?
I guess. I mean, they already had Debo and freaking Ayuk on the team at that point. When they drafted Ty Davis Price in round 3, were they thinking he was going to be their starter bell cow, or like what was that?
Yeah, like that's my thing.
Well, he had Elijah Mitchell.
How do we not, like, if you're Kyle, how do you not see the holes? What do you mean our team was good enough? No, they weren't. Javon Hargrave, even if you want to say we had Hargrave, you needed someone with him. He didn't even perform that great with us. We've needed an edge rusher with Nick to pair with Nick for years. Like, our linebacking core was Dre and Fred. Outside of them, since Al-Shaair left, nothing. Our safety play has always been near the bottom. Our corners up until last year weren't great. So it's like, how do you not see these things? Like, what do you mean you weren't looking? Why weren't you looking for starters? We needed them.
Yeah.
We need them.
Well, what's interesting is they're looking for starters now. They've made that real clear. I mean, they have so many holes, particularly on defense. They need at least one, maybe two, maybe three starters in the defensive line, at least one starting linebacker and a cornerback who can play a lot.
PrizePicks is the best way to win cash while watching sports. Baseball season just started. Basketball season is ramping up. The Warriors and the Lakers are in the playoff hunt, and you want some of that action, baby. Best part about the PrizePicks app, it's easy to use. All you got to do to set up a lineup is click more or less on a few players' stats. Plus, PrizePicks is available in over 40 states, including California and Texas. And if for new users, if you use promo code Cohn, put down a $5 lineup, you will win $50 no matter what. PrizePicks is giving away $50 to new users who put down their first $5 lineup, win or lose. So Go to PrizePicks, download the app, use promo code COHN.